Based on your past experience, can you give us a little bit of insight on the coronavirus?
So I'm a primary care doctor, but in addition to the primary care doctor, I was part of the Epidemic Intelligence Service at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
So I think the question on everyone's mind right now is, how worried should we be?
I would say you should be prepared, but don't panic. So what that means is, think about the things you might need at home. So you'll probably want some water for a few days in case you can't get out of the house. Making sure you have medications to take for a week or so in case you can't get to the pharmacy. Making sure that you have enough food in the house for your children, as well as other necessities that might be necessary for your children. There's a full list available at the Centers for Disease Control.
So it's kind of like preparing for a hurricane or a snowstorm.
Yeah, absolutely, because you never know when you'll be able to get in or out of your house, and you might be stuck at home for a few days. So things to think about are making sure that you have a plan for your family. Where will you go? What will you do? How will you entertain your children? Something as easy as that. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you get accurate information. So think about websites that you might be able to get information, such as the Centers for Disease Control website, which provides up-to-date information on the latest outbreak.
What's the best way to prevent an illness like this?
So it's much like preventing influenza. What you do is wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. When you can't wash your hands, use hand sanitizer. You shouldn't bring your hands up to your eyes or your mouth. And if you are sick, please stay home for your sake and everyone else's sake.
Do we know what kind of impact this could have?
So at this point, we don't know. It's a bit of a moving target at this point. We're learning more every single day about both the coronavirus and sort of how it's being transmitted in the US. So there are as many unknowns as there are knowns at this point.
What symptoms should we be on the lookout for?
When you think about symptoms, things you should look out for are shortness of breath, coughing, or just difficulty breathing. So if any of these things develop, you should give your doctor a call and ask them what the appropriate step is.
And at what point do we go to the doctor?
That's a decision that everybody needs to make sort of individually, but let me give you a few options. If you're at home and you don't feel like going to your doctor, you might utilize your benefit with MD Live and use a teledoc to assess your situation. Ultimately, you should always err on the side of safety and call your doctor and ask your doctor who knows you, your primary care doctor, to determine what they think that you should do, whether it be going to see them, going to an urgent care, or going to an emergency room.
Okay, should I go out and buy a face mask?
So the current recommendations from CDC are that we not use face masks. The most important things you can do to prevent illness are to wash your hands as often as possible. In addition to that, making sure that if you are sick, staying home.